If you're anything like me, a late 20-year-old who's been playing Battlefield since he was in middle school, you probably didn't care much when Battlefield 6 was announced. If you've been around since Bad Company 2 like I have and have seen EA and DICE fumble this franchise for over a decade at this point, being skeptical is something of a sixth sense for Battlefield players. The highest of highs and lowest of lows best describe this franchise, and I felt the same way going into Battlefield 6's open beta. Putting it bluntly, I didn't have any expectations for this game. Since Battlefield 3, it's felt like every game has launched broken, taken a few years to fix, and a new game gets announced by the time it's in a working state. This is the Battlefield cycle that has traumatized many of us for decades. However, after playing Battlefield 6, DICE and EA are looking to rewrite history. Over the past weekend, when I should have been working on the DS2 video, the beta was made public, I downloaded it, hit level 20, and have been playing it almost non-stop. If you've ever had any interest in Battlefield at all, turn off this video, go download the beta, and get ready for the next weekend. Battlefield 6 feels like a legendary return to form. This game feels like I'm playing Bad Company 2, Battlefield 3, or Battlefield 4, which are, in my opinion, the best games in the series. The strangest thing about the beta is how polished it is. Like I said earlier, Battlefield games have frequently had buggy betas and abysmal launches, but Battlefield 6 feels like a polished product. As you can probably tell, I'm playing this on PC with a Ryzen 9 9900X and a Radeon RX 6700 XT near flawlessly. And yeah, I know that's a crazy bottleneck, I'm working on it, alright. In the past, I've had to upgrade my system to run these games, but I'm constantly getting over 100 FPS with a few dips here and there with a GPU from 2021. I'm not using upscaling or frame gen either, which is insane out of a game from 2025. This game also never went higher than 8GB of VRAM, which is great since most GPUs have 8GB of VRAM for whatever reason, thank you Nvidia. The reason I'm bringing this up is because this game is probably well optimized and should run on a wide variety of systems. For those who haven't played a ton of Battlefields, this isn't normal for DICE. A relatively bug-free experience and an optimized game are completely unexpected from them given their track record. It feels like they've listened to a ton of feedback and constructive criticism from over the years. The game plays well on my system, my friends' systems, and apparently it runs great on consoles according to my friends. The game just works and I don't even know what to say about that. You can even join matches in a squad with your friends with no problems, which might not sound like much, but trust me, that's huge for us old people. Back in the dark old days, you used to join a squad, find a match, and there was a chance your squad would join on separate teams. Outside of pretty graphics, volumetric fog, incredible lighting, and the Frostbite engine being impressive as usual, the first thing I noticed was how classes have been reworked. Assault now is more of an offensive specialist class with access to grenade launchers and two primary weapons, which one of those are the shotguns, so yeah, it has the shotgun. Supports can now throw down a support box with both ammo and healing, and they have devibs to revive fallen teammates. Speaking of reviving, we 1000% need proximity chat when dragging people away, and engineer and recon are more or less the same. As someone who loves spotting enemies, placing spawn beacons behind enemy lines, and providing the team with intel, I love the buff Bolt Actions received where enemies killed with headshots can't be revived. If I'm being greedy, I'd love for DICE to consider hiding your location if you're using a suppressor. I don't know many Battlefield snipers who use suppressors since they destroy your muzzle velocity. I think it'd be a great way to incentivize more urban sniping, which may result in a more aggressive playstyle. I also love how they introduce paths where you can unlock skills. I didn't catch the specific name of this feature, but being able to repair things faster, increase your healing speed, or call an UAV is great. There are some problems with classes though. First and foremost, the Assault class should be reworked or returned to its older incarnation. Assaults in other Battlefield games had access to the medbox and defib. Assault players were presented with two choices, be a more offensive soldier or be a more traditional medic role. This versatility resulted in one of the most popular classes in any match back in the day. The problem with Assault now is outside of pushing objectives, which anyone can do obviously, they don't really support the team anymore. And since I mentioned the medbox, the support class is now crazy powerful. Support in the past few Battlefield games have had access to ammo, mortars, smokes, and other support functions for the team. Historically speaking, support felt like the least selected class, and good luck getting any ammo out of them. As DICE shifted back to their traditional class system, they probably realized supports rarely threw down ammo and Assault was too strong, so why not merge them into one class? This update fixed the ammo problem, but now this class feels like a Swiss Army knife since it can do pretty much everything. That said, this is the open beta and we don't know how old this build is, and we don't know what other equipment these classes will have in the full release. Something else that caught me off guard in the beta was the maps. I've held the unpopular opinion that maps in Call of Duty and Battlefield have gotten progressively worse over the past decade. I don't know what happened to map designers, but they feel like they've been missing. I mean, there's a reason both franchises keep bringing back popular maps from a decade or two ago now. As much as I love Battlefield 4, the biggest issue with that game were the maps. When you compare BF4's maps to Rush on Bad Company 2 or any of Battlefield 3's incredible maps, there's really no competition for me, and like everything else, Battlefield 6 feels like a return to form, mostly. I won't judge these too much since we don't know how old this build is and haven't played all the maps, but they're a huge step up from 2042's. They all worked pretty well when playing Domination, King of the Hill, Breakthrough, and Conquest. The biggest concern I have for maps is that they're very infantry focused. Even though Battlefield players say they love big maps, there's a reason why Operation Metro, Operation Locker, No Shore Canals, White Pass, Arica Harbor, and Valparaiso have been on repeat. We love these maps because Battlefield, even though the vehicle combat is a lot of fun, really shines during the infantry combat. The other big change I felt when playing this game was the overall pace. Battlefield 6 feels like the fastest modern Battlefield I've played. Outside of reloading weapons faster, it's hard to describe why. I think the time to kill, the way we move, slide, and other actions feel just as fast as they used to. I don't know, it's definitely faster, but I can't quite put my finger on why. You can definitely tell that Vince Impella worked on this. Battlefield has gotten progressively faster over the years though. The last thing I want to briefly mention is the audio. Now, I've had several friends who never gave Battlefield the time of day, and they've all said one thing: this game sounds incredible. If you've been playing this game on Discord with your friends, listening to a podcast, or have had a video on in the back while playing, just pause it for a second and listen to the audio. Ever since playing Bad Company 2 for the first time, I've been floored with DICE's audio team. Like the rest of the series, the positional audio, sound of vehicles, footsteps, firearms, reverb, occlusion zones, and everything else just sounds really impressive. And between Frostbite's visuals and this superb audio, Battlefield 6 feels like an immersive experience. It's a rare feeling that Battlefield 6, Battlefield 1, and a handful of other shooters have achieved in my opinion. If anything's been consistent since Battlefield's inception, it's the remarkable audio that I promise you does not go unnoticed. Before wrapping this first impressions video up, I have some feedback for DICE and a message to all the Call of Duty refugees. For feedback, King of the Hill should be bumped up to 300 points. Currently, I think it's at 200 or 250 points, which makes matches just fly right by. Battlefield 6 has a ton of aim punch that I'd love to see reduced. Aim punch disorients your screen and makes it harder to track your target when you're getting shot at. Next, the biggest issue that needs to be addressed in my opinion is the scoreboard. The scoreboard doesn't show anywhere near as much information as Battlefield 2042's. Where are the revives, resupplies, spotting, general healing, and other actions? Sharing how players achieve their score may encourage more team play, which is at the center of Battlefield. This next one is a very small thing, but I wish there was an icon displaying when we were crouched. Battlefield 5 had an icon indicating whether we were prone, crouch, or standing that I'd love to return. Next, there's a bug where if you place equipment in an area it can't be placed, it'll just disappear. This is probably fixed in a more recent build, so this really isn't that big of a deal. And hopefully future maps deliver a larger scale for combat. Lastly, to all of the Call of Duty refugees who immigrated to Battlefield, first and foremost, welcome, and I'm sorry if anyone's been gatekeepy. If no one said it, let me be the first to say we're happy to have you, and I'm happy that you're here. All you need to remember is your kill-death ratio isn't that important as long as you're supporting the team. As long as you're destroying tanks, reviving teammates, dropping ammo, spotting targets, communicating with your team, and playing the objective, it'll be reflected in your score and you're doing great. If you embrace Battlefield's culture and community, you'll see why, despite its many flaws, we've stuck around for so long. Battlefield really delivers an experience that you can't find in any other shooter, and once you've had a taste of that, it's hard to leave. And the magic you feel whenever you're playing as a team, coordinating with your friends, and win games is exactly why we're still here. Finally, and it's strange to say this, but Battlefield might actually be back. Hopefully the feedback doesn't take away from all the positives I've had to say. I've really enjoyed my time with the beta, and I'm actually really excited for the full release. Now, for full transparency, I don't know if I'll make a full review. Honestly, I really wanted to shower this game with praise as a veteran and encourage everyone to try this game if you're even remotely interested. And lastly, as a Battlefield veteran, I have a message for EA and DICE. This is your chance. Everyone's watching and everyone's enjoying the game. At this point, a smooth release is all we're looking for because, and it's so wild to say this, but it feels like DICE has something special in the oven. Hey, thanks for making it to the end of the video. A huge shout out to all the domain dwellers for supporting my creative endeavors. I know this is a curveball because I think this is the first time I've ever actually talked about a multiplayer game. Yeah, believe it or not, I play these every so often, but I don't know, I guess when you're trying to like grind your channel and grow and you want to be more of like a single player focused channel and talk about like story games, you obviously have to, well, you know, play story games to get through those. But don't worry, I have a lot of fun with multiplayer games, even though I don't play a ton of them. And even though I wasn't really like hype or like super excited about Battlefield 6, saw the trailer, saw the big reveal that everybody else saw with all the content creators. They left with overwhelmingly good reviews. And then honestly, like we live at a time where we don't really get game demos anymore. So like alphas and betas and like closed beta tests and all that stuff really function as our demos. So, and played the game and had a really good time. But before I get into any of the questions, I didn't think I'd make this video. So I kind of just threw a script together, threw some clips, and yeah, hopefully the video came out well. And hopefully everybody knows that I'm very clearly excited for this game. I might get the full version. I might stream some more here on the channel. And speaking of streaming more on the channel, I don't know if you guys saw my community post, but long story short, haven't really figured out the activity feed problem. So that, and I really want to, you know, thank you guys for doing paid subscriptions or donating. So going forward, all my streams will be here. They'll be in a playlist called live streams or VOD or past streams or something like that if you'd like to watch them. And it'd be a great way to, I guess, finally house all these things that we're doing, because obviously I record and stream all my games. But a few questions before we get out of here. So first and foremost, is this your intro to Battlefield? And if it isn't, how'd you get into the series? And if it is, how are you liking it? Because honestly, this feels like prime Battlefield, which I feel like I haven't been able to say for almost a decade, but it's really cool that we're actually back here. And if you are new, or if you're a longtime veteran like me, what's your favorite class? What's your favorite Battlefield game if you are a veteran? And have you been helping any new players adjust to the series like I have? Let's talk about everything Battlefield in the comments below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.